Was it different when you got to overseas?
When I went to England, it was totally different there. People there were so glad to see us. Color didn't mean anything. You were coming here to bring freedom. Join us in the war effort. Yeah, I had a wonderful time. I even with a young lady into London to the Haymarket Theatre to see John Gielgud in Hamlet. What a wonderful experience to have and feel. And the only time I have problems is when the American soldiers brought their baggage of racism with them. And then I remember we were going through Germany, the Bulge was over, and our groups, I was driving down the middle of the road and the soldiers on each side from a division were walking. And one of them came over and looked into the truck and saw me. And he ran back, fellas, we're winning the war. The niggers are here. My heart dropped. We had just come out of doing our job for the Battle of the Bulge, built a bridge that helped to save so many people. And again, what somebody says, no good deed goes unpunished. It looks like that was what was happening. But I was learning. I was growing up in a hurry. And I come to the realization that some of these people were damaged, and they were damaging me. And so we all end up being damaged to this day. And even at this age, in my twilight years, I'm still trying to fight against some of those things that I shouldn't think about. This trust is hard to come by. Yes, my mother and father did a lot to save me, but because I could have been caught up in all this hate, but I didn't. But my children, my grandchildren, thank God, they're not caught up in that. They have friends all over the map, different colors, different religions, whatever. They don't judge people, you know, without having anything on which to judge them. And for that, I'm deeply grateful. So we've come a long way. But in answer to your question, those were some tough years for me. I've seen some others who couldn't take it, who succumbed and did things that put them in jail or even got them killed. And my life was threatened several times, and I didn't do anything except to sit out on a bus. And I was 18, and when a man called me, he said, "Boy," and I looked out the window. And he kept calling, and the old black lady got up, and she came over, she said, "Son, he's talking to you." I said, "No, ma'am, he's talking to a boy. I'm a man." See what I mean? I was getting close to getting into trouble. Yeah. She went back to her seat and sat down, and then here comes this bus driver, and he said, "Boy," I looked at him, he said, "See that sign?" I said, "I can't read." And that's when he used an expletive. He said, "Well, we'll damn sight show you." And he started back up to the front, and that old lady got up, and she said, "Lordy, son, you better move, because he's going to kill you. They have guns in the glove compartment." She knew, because she lived there. I'm a brand new 18-year-old smart alecky. And he saw that I got up and moved, and he saw that I had moved. He didn't come back. And so the bus stopped, the lady got off, and I got off, but I never saw her. I never thanked her, but she probably saved my life. But see, this is what you go through that damages your life. We had a session in the United States when we sat down and talked about why we were fighting this war. And the lieutenant from Georgia said to all of us, "We're going to talk about why we're fighting this war." And he looked over at me, and I was wearing glasses, 18. He said, "Specs." You don't even know what that means. You know what specs? Spectacles. You know, now it's eyeglasses. He said, "Specs, why are we fighting this war?" So I stood up. I said, "Sir, we're fighting this war to protect and preserve the rights and privileges that we enjoy here in our country, in this country of the United States," words to that effect. I said, "Yeah, but I'm fighting the war right here in this country because I don't have the rights and privileges that I'm fighting for over there." He looked at me and he got a little puzzled, and he told the group, "Take a break." He called me on the side, began to talk to me about the people he knew, the Negroes. They're lazy, they're shiftless, they don't want jobs, they won't go to school. He was blaming the victims. He was blaming the victims for the apartheid that they were having. And then he said to me, Private Bass, when you're in Rome, you do as Romans do. I looked him in the eye. I said, sir, I'm an American, and I'm in America, and I'm going to do as Americans do. Whew. I was so scared. I said it, but I thought I was going to get, repercussions. And so he turned red as a beet, like a thermometer. And he turned and walked out of the barrack, broke up the whole group. And I thought surely I was going to have my group come over and say, thank you, They came over and said, why'd you say that for? You're going to get us in trouble? They had been programmed. They had been told that this is the way they must conform. Maybe it was a survival technique for them. I don't want to sit in judgment. But I thought surely I would have some kind of support. I was left out in left field all by myself.